your business. What did I say? It could literally blow your business out of the water, transform your business with just micro steps. But it's going to be hard to wrap your mind around it. So I need you guys to get in the right state. So if you need to get up and jump up and down, please do. Or headbang to some AC/DC, please do. Because this training changed my business. So give each other some virtual high fives. Give each other some virtual hugs.
Virtual hugs.
Hug it out, not slug it out.
I got everybody. I'm so excited. So last week, I just touched on how you could transform your business with just 3 simple steps. I'm going to turn my AC/DC off. That was Max's music. He would be super proud of me because I only listen to country. So, but I knew that wouldn't jazz anybody up. So there's 3 ways to grow your business. So I'm going to share my screen. I actually did a PowerPoint for this one. Chip, I'm going to make you the co-host. So if anybody comes in, you can let them in because I won't be able to see them sharing my screen. I need you guys to get a piece of paper and a pen out. And if you're driving, please don't do that. Just listen along and go back. It's on the replay on our Facebook group, the private Facebook group.
Thank you, Christy.
You're welcome. We want you to be safe, Ray.
Thank you.
If you
I'm driving as well. That's why I don't have my picture up. All right, that's why you can't see my face.
That's all right. That's all right. But you need a pen and a piece of paper, but you'll get from this and then just go back. And if you have any questions, let me know. So there's 3 ways to grow a business. Pretty simple. 1, increase the number of your customers and clients. Do you know the difference between a customer and a client?
Yes.
What is it?
Customer's more like a one-time visit. You might see them every now and then. A client is someone you'll see over and over again, or hope to see over and over again as a recurring customer.
Exactly. A customer is one and done. They go to the shop, they buy the burger, they're done with the burger. They won't ever buy a burger again. A client is somebody that you have a relationship with, and they come back over and over and over again. So do we in business want a customer or do we want a client?
Client.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want clients that come back over and over and over again. 95% of business owners never make that realization. So you guys are in the top 5%. Oh, high fives, congratulations. The second way to grow your business is increase the transaction value. So here's another question on that one. How can you increase your transaction value? What does that mean? Increase your transaction value.
Raise your prices or increase your value.
Increase your value, raise your prices.
Yeah.
Upsell.
Add-on services. Yeah.
Add-on services. There's a bunch of different ways to increase that transaction value, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
So Ray, if he wanted to increase the average transaction value, instead of 1 vial of CBD, he'd want to sell me 2 or 3 or add on for my pups. So
There you go.
Yeah, and Nancy, how could you increase the transaction value for you because your prices are set?
My prices are set, but I can always add in cross-selling by saying, hey, you want the general liability aspect of this policy, but how about also putting in, the errors and omissions one, cross-selling the different coverages that they could potentially use definitely increases the price in that way. Or even just offering, hey, I'll sell you your home and all, anything like that, any type of policy we have.
Yeah, exactly. Chip and Sammy, how could you guys increase your average transaction value?
But I mean, I just try to constantly I have like free services as well as stuff that costs money, so I can have something for everybody. But add-on is like free web audits, like free website audits, offer to even help train people. Like I'll train you on the Google profile, to where you don't necessarily have to pay me, like just adding on different things that I don't necessarily make them pay for, but it helps them be comfortable with the money they give me for the other service.
Yeah, a value add.
What?
And I've heard Ken talk about it as well multiple times. How he adds value by not charging for some of the things that he could be charging for.
Yeah.
And people see that and it's like, well, you know what, this guy's really good. Let's see what kind of business he does.
One thing you could do to increase your transaction value is if you do a website for somebody, you could add on SEO for an additional price, or
Yeah.
add on Facebook ads for an additional price, right?
Yeah. And then Instagram, Facebook, Google profile, just all the services that go hand in hand with each other, trying to get them to
Yes.
use all of
So
them.
increasing that transaction value is pretty simple. What about increasing the frequency of repurchase so that you get more residual value out of each and every customer? How could you do that? So with sometimes spouse, we used to be a one and done company. So people would get a pergola built and they're done, right? But we have additional services that we've added over the years, maid services, handyman for a day. We've actually got residuals for all the different areas of our company, power washing quarterly. So we've increased the frequency of repurchase. How can you increase the frequency of repurchase for your customers in a CBD business?
Actually set them up on I just look blank on what it's called, not a prepaid, but where they set an order where it comes every month or every 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 2 weeks. I just went blank on what that's called. Sorry.
Subscription service, yeah.
Yeah.
It's that residual kind of income. That's something
Yes.
Nancy knows a lot about with insurance.
Yes, I do, especially depending on if they're on a 6-month policy, 12-month policy, and the renewals come up, make sure that on even like what you guys were saying on transaction value, adding value of who you are as a person and what you can do for that customer. That they're going to come back to you at renewal time and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do my renewal with you. Can you help me out with it? So that's definitely something that you'll always have that customer come out.
Exactly.
Yep.
So when you do these 3 things and you increase them by 10%, 20%, or 33%, you can get these results that are exponential. It kind of compounds together, and a 10% increase can actually be a 33% increase if you do it in all 3 areas. Now we're getting into numbers. This is the goals we were talking about, Ray. So if you don't have any goals in your business, guess what you're going to get?
Nothing.
Exactly what you don't ask for.
Yep. Goose egg.
Exactly.
I used to have an assistant. Her name was Caitlin, and she'd come in every so once in a while and she'd go, hey, I would like to get a raise. And I said, okay. And I'd get in my pocket and I'd go, here's $1. You just got a raise. Christy, that's not what I mean. Well, that's what you just asked me for. What do you want? And she'd go, well, I would like a blah, 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 blah. So I'd set up a bonus program for her to make more money. Because I don't just give people money, they have to work for it. So if you don't ask specifically what you want, you're going to get it every single time. So you have to ask for what you want. So now I want you to think back. And you might not know the numbers right off the top of your head, but I want you to do like an average. How many customers did you have last week? Last
week?
month? Yeah, or last year. Whichever one of these three you want to go with. Week, month, or year. How many customers did you have last week?
Clients.
How many clients? Did you have 10? Did you have 20? How many clients did you serve? Because I want you to do this on your business. I'm going to show you my sometimes spouse, but I want you to do it for your business. So if you had 10 new clients last week, I want you to use the number 10. Take your sales for last week and divide it by the 10. That way you'll know what the average sale is. I'm going to go over this several times. It's going to get real repetitive, but that's fine. And then on average, how many times do your customers repurchase from you? So last year, we're going to go through the training and then we're going to go over your individual companies if you want to share that information here in a little bit. Last year, sometimes spouse had 645 clients. How do I know that? I have a database that covers it. So how many clients are you going to use for this increasing your business and getting more income into your business? So sometimes spouse had 645. Chip, what number are you going to use?
And is this, you said this is last year?
You can do it last week, last month, or last year. I did last year.
I mean, for last year, I would have clients, not customers. I maybe 2 at the end of December.
Okay. So he's got his number. Nancy, do you know what your number is?
I'm using last week since that's fresh on my mind, and that would be 8.
8. Perfect. So sometimes spouse had 645. This was last year though. What's the average transaction value? Did the customer spend $452 with you? Nancy, did they buy a new policy and it was $1,000 over a year? What's the average transaction value?
Average transaction value last week was $2,450.
How much was yours, Chip, if you want to share?
Yeah, $900 for the 2.
Sometimes spouses' average transaction value is $582. So you take the customers or clients, and then you times what your average transaction value is. Now, how often will they repurchase from you?
Well, for me, on those, I didn't have those 2 haven't repurchased anything new, but since I've recently started, I've started adding on services to other clients. I mean, my number now is 5 times what it was in December. I did way better.
Average, do people come back to you and purchase from you twice or 4 times, Chip?
Monthly retainers.
Huh?
Monthly retainers are the average for me.
What number would that be?
On average, it'd be like $225 a month.
How many times do they come back? 12 times? Do they
I
come
haven't,
back?
I don't know. I'm too
Yes.
young to know that because they're still coming.
That's okay. Just guess for right now.
I mean, I'm hoping to keep them for the next 5 years at least. I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's do yours at 5 then. Nancy, how many times will they repurchase from you?
It's guaranteed that they're going to obviously annually come back to me, but a repurchase, out of those 8 from last week, we're now into this week, and 3 of those already repurchased, added on a different policy. So it could be within a month that they'll come back and purchase something else, or it could be that I just keep them annually.
For the sake of this exercise, we're going to just put 2.
Okay.
So sometimes spouses, people usually come back twice a year. They'll come and they'll spend the $582 2 different times a year. Now, mine's cleaning and handyman services, so that kind of skews the numbers. If I was going to do and separate them and be a real genius, it'd be probably much easier for me, but I'm not going to do that. So what we do is we take that number of clients. So Nancy, yours would be 8. The average sale of $2,450, and then times it times the frequency of repurchase.
Okay.
What number do you come up with?
39,200.
Yeah. All right, Chip, what about yours? So you've got 2 times 900, and they come back 5 times. What number do you come up with?
1,800. And that would be what, 9,000?
Yes, sir. So I did this with Sometimes Spouse, and I came up with $750,780. But what if, Chip, your number's 9,000, Nancy, yours is 39,200. But what if we just increase your numbers by just 10%? So I take that 645 customers times 10%. How much does that give me in new clients?
64 and a half new clients.
Yeah. So I just did 64 for the sake of the exercise. So that gives me 710 clients. If I increase it just by 10% in 2021 over 2020's numbers, Nancy, if you take your 8 customers and you times it times the 10%, how many new customers do you get if you just increase it by 10% over the next week? So just how many new customers?
About 6 new customers, give or take.
All right, this is where the math gets crazy. So 8 customers times 0.10% is only 0.8 customers. So you
And
don't
mine's 0.2.
Yeah, you don't have to go out and get 8 new customers or 6 new customers, Nancy. You have to just get about 1.
Yeah.
For the sake of the exercise, we're going to do 1. Chip, let's do 1 for you too.
Yeah, because that was way less.
So instead of 2 customers, you have 3.
Well, I mean, if I did I should have just used my number now because last year I was not doing that well in December.
Nancy, if you increase your average sale price, the $2,450, you just increase the average transaction value. How much would it increase your $2,450? So maybe you add on an additional insurance
Okay.
or premium. I don't know your verbiage, dear. I'm sorry. I'll learn it. I promise.
About 250 about this calculator's helping me.
Yeah. So it would go from $2,450 to $2,695, right?
Right?
Chip?
90. So
Go to
900 to 990.
Yeah. The frequency of repurchase is now going to go from 2 to 2 point what?
2.4.
Well, 2.2 or something like that.
Yeah. So what we do, Nancy, is take that 9 customers
Mhm.
times the $2,695, which has raised your average sale.
Okay.
And then their frequency of repurchase is 2.2.
Okay.
So how much would your weekly sales go up by adding just 1 customer?
That goes up from where we were, I guess, 39.2 to now we're at 53,361.
What?
Just 1 customer.
Off the flipping mic, Nancy. Can you get 1 new customer a week?
Yeah,
Not very hard. You got 8 new ones last week, right?
right.
Can you add on to their premium just a little bit, maybe give them a little bit higher coverage, or maybe add on another insurance for just $245?
Yeah. It's crazy when you put the math like that.
Yeah, and then just increase them to repurchase from you, not twice a year, but 2.2 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Christy,
Yes.
is D'Emanuel Watson, is that going to be Natalie?
Yes.
Right.
So you've increased your sales by $14,161 over the lifetime of the customers for 1 year. That is an increase of 33.1%, just taking it up 10% in those 3 areas to grow your business. Is that mind-blowing, Nancy?
Honestly, yes.
Just 1 new customer a week. 1. That's amazing. I'm so excited for you. Numbers don't lie. I didn't know this in the first 6 years of my business, and I had somebody else running my numbers and they tanked my business. And I came to the realization when I got the financials that numbers don't lie. And if you have a goal to just increase your sales year over year by 10% by using this simple formula, how much is that going to change your life, Nancy? An extra $23,000 in sales every week.
That changes significantly. Huge. You're talking about weekly, times 52 times, 52 weeks in the year. That is crazy.
I'm sorry, it wasn't 23,000. It was 14,000.
Yeah, I think it's 14,160.
If you do that every week, just adding that 1 customer over a year's period of time, with my simple math, and it's probably wrong, so just take it with a grain of salt, that's an extra $736,000 in sales. Again, drop the mic. Just every week, 10% more. All right, Chip, I'm so excited to do yours. What did yours end up coming to?
On the frequency, it was 0.5.
5.5, right? So we got 3 new customers. We're upping the average transaction value by $990 to $999 or $990.
90, yeah.
And then they're coming back 5.5 times instead of just 5 times.
Yeah.
How does that transform your business?
What was it? It was. You talking about numbers, right? Like the actual.
So
I mean,
you go,
honestly, it just gets me to where I've been doing this since the number I gave you. Like I've actually pretty close to hit these numbers exactly, like in the way I've moved up, because I have 10 clients now, and that was just December to now. And I've been adding consistently since then. But yeah, it is. I mean, it is insane. If you consistently keep bringing in new clients, eventually that bottom line just starts looking a lot better.
yeah, you went from $9,000 in sales to $16,335 in sales a month. You've almost doubled your sales with just those small incremental changes. We did take his from the 10% to just add the whole customer. So that's why his number is a little bit more than the 33.1%. But if I do that, so that's amazing. That's a change of $7,335 every month. What could you do with an extra $7,000 a month? Drop the mic. I wish I had a mic to drop. Man, I need to get one of those, Chip. So now, if I do this with sometime spouse, I want you to see how it changed that business also from 645 customers to 60 or to 710 clients. I went from an average transaction value to 582 to $640, and the frequency is 2.2, so it was really close to Nancy's. We went to have growth of 33.1%, which gets our sales from $750,000 to almost $1 million. It's that compounding. When you take 10% and then you add another 10% and then another 10%, it's 33.1% growth. Now we played with it just a little bit with that 10%. What if you've got somebody that wants to be, you know, above the 10%? Let's go with a 20% increase. I want you guys to do your numbers. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do your numbers by doing it at 20% increase. All right. Have you guys got them done?
I think so.
All right. So Nancy, we take you from 8 customers to how many customers?
Well, if I did it right, 8 times 20%, about 1.6 increase in customers.
Yeah, almost 2.
Almost 2.
So about 1.5 new people.
Yeah.
So you can just kind of swap it out every other week. How much more was it in sales from $2,450 to?
From 2,450 to it was an increase of 490, so 2,940.
And then what's their frequency of repurchase? They're going from 2 to how many times a year?
About 2.4, give or take.
2.4. Okay, we times all those together, the 9.6 customers a week, an increase of just 1.5 customers a week, you know, just cut somebody in half. It's totally not legal, but whatever. And then you increase the transaction value from $24.50 to $29.40, probably pretty easy in the insurance world. And then instead of just buying from you twice a year, you get them 2.4 times a year. How much of an increase in sales is that weekly?
Hold on real quick. So an increase weekly, you're talking about $490. If my math's right. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, take the 9.6 times 2940. And then they come back times that times 2.4. What'd you come up with?
9.6. Oh, 67,000.
What? That's an increase of $28,537 a week in sales by just adding 1.5 new customers, bumping them up a little bit, and then getting them to come back and purchase other policies from you from 2% to 2.4%. What would that do on your commission with having that additional almost $30,000 in sales a week?
That would be huge.
And then it compounds, right? Because they repurchase every single year.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. So that 20% increase actually turns into an increase by compounding 20% on top of 20% on top of 20% to 72.8%, Nancy.
Whoa.
Hand clap, high five for that. Wow. Mr. Chip. So you go.
I would go from 2 to 3 clients.
Yes.
Additional 180. On the and then I'd go from 5 times to 6. So I'd add one more frequent. Instead of 5, it'd be 6. I'd get one more.
So you go from $9,000 in sales a month to.
Oh, I got it right here at 19,440. Is that correct?
What would an extra $10,000 a month do for you and your family?
It'd be my goal. I'd be hitting my goals.
Drop the mic for Chip.
Yeah.
Dang. He doesn't have to split it with anybody, Nancy. He's a solopreneur. He doesn't get commission. He gets all of it. Okay. Now we're really going to blow your mind. So what it did for Sometimes Spouse, just to let you know, it went from $750,000 with a 20% increase compounding over time. It went to $1.3 million, an increase of $550,000 in sales. So let's take this a step further. Let's take it as a 33% increase in your first numbers for the number of clients. We're going to take 25% on the transaction value and then a 50% increase on the frequency of repurchase. The reason these numbers are a little bit different is because we want them to be realistic. If I put 33, 33, and 33, it might not be as realistic. So let's go with 33% more customers, 25% more in transaction value, and they repurchase from you 50% more. So I'm going to give you another 2 minutes to do this. All right, Nancy, do you want to share your numbers?
All
This
right,
one's a little bit
so switching that up, um, we go from like 8 customers to officially about a little over 10. So let's just use 10. And then from the original 2450 transaction, we now are raising that an additional 613. So my average transaction now goes to 3,063. And of course, frequency time goes from 2 to about 4 times a year they purchase.
It would go from 2 to 3, dear.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
it- 50%. So it would just be
Gotcha.
half.
Yes,
You don't have to go crazy on this one. This one's more difficult. So that's why I'm kind of walking you through it.
perfect. Thank you.
So how much did your weekly sales go up, Nancy?
Didn't get that far. Give me just a second.
Okay.
So let's see. So we're at, if I did it right, weekly times the 10 customers, so 30,000.
We went from, I'm going to walk you back through it. This one's hard. I had to
It is
redo
because
it.
I keep forgetting what the original formula I'm supposed to use.
It's the number of customers times the average transaction value times the frequency of repurchase. So it went from 8 customers to 10.64.
Okay.
It went from the average transaction value of $2,450 to $3,062. And it went from frequency of repurchase from 2 customers or 2 times a year to 3 times a year. So your difference times that together, 10.64 times 3,062.50 times 3 times a year. How much did you get?
97,755.
What? That's a growth of 150% by just adding 2.5 customers a week.
Wow.
What? Why is it everybody doing this? Because they don't take the time to work on their business or on their business instead of in their business. They get busy putting out those fires and they never think about their goals or what they could really accomplish. Nancy, that is a difference of $58,555. How often?
What'd you say, weekly?
Weekly?
Weekly. You're in the $1 million club 3 times over. What would that do to your commissions? What would that do to your life?
Wow.
Wow. That's amazing. But maybe Nancy doesn't want to shoot for 150%. Maybe she just wants to shoot for the 1 extra customer a week where she gets at the $53,000. Whichever one of these growth paths that she chooses, I imagine it's going to change her life dramatically. Will it, Nancy? Are you there? Is your mind so blown? It's crazy. I'd love to know what you go out and get. Mr. What would you go and buy with that kind of commissions?
I don't know. I'm not a crazy spender. That's just crazy.
That's insane.
You just have a fatter bank account.
Thank you. Yes. I think would love me more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Chip.
Yeah. So I would go from 2 to 3 again.
Yep.
And for the 25%, it would jump up $225, bringing it to $1,125.
Yes.
And it would go from 5 to 7.5.
Yep.
So if I'm not mistaken, I did the math right. It would be $25,312.50 a week, right?
Yes, sir. What would
Yeah.
that do for you and your family?
It'll do enough. I'll tell you that much.
Wow. That is an extra $16,312.50. Let's not forget the 50 cents.
Yeah.
What's that going to do for you? Like, how's that going to change your life?
Drastically.
What'd you say? I'm
So
sorry.
drastically.
My next question is, how hard is it for you, Chip, to get one new customer a week?
Not that hard.
What do you need to do to get one new customer a week?
Just need to keep my focus narrowed, make sure that I stay concentrated on my goals, set the goals and follow through.
You've added one new customer. You've increased your transaction value by just a couple $100. And I know you can do that with add-ons from what I've talked to you about.
Yep.
And then they come back to you not 5 times a year, but 7 times a year, 7.5 times. Are all of these achievable goals for you, Chip?
Yes.
And to get $16,000 more in income, that's mind blowing. To get 150% increase week over week or month over month. I don't know which you did, Chip, but it's not that difficult, is it? When you break it down, because numbers don't lie. Nancy, can you get 2.64 more customers a week?
Yes.
How would you get them?
It's pretty much like Chip said, keeping your goals, putting your name. Honestly, one thing you said that really resonated with me, Christy, it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. So being able to be the name that someone says, hey, call so-and-so, that's, word of mouth, referral marketing, reaching out to those customers and trying to find that. And it's doable.
It is to blow up your business in a good way and to increase it by either 33%, 72%, or up to the 150%. I wanted you guys to see whatever your goals are, they're achievable with small incremental changes. I'm sure while we're talking, you're going, I could just get more people to know me by this, or I could market here to get one new customer a week. That 10% equals 33.1% increase. That 20% is actually 72.8% increase. That 33, 25, 50 is 150% increase. It's this thing called compounding. And this is just week over week or year over year, however you look at it. But imagine changing it from now forward in 2021, what your numbers are going to look like at the end of 2021. But what are they going to do, even if you do this same compounding effect in 2022? It's amazing what these 3 things, these ways to grow your business can do to your business, your income, and your life. Now that I've went through this, my head kind of hurts because numbers aren't necessarily my forte. Do you have any questions? My next question to you is, what action steps are you going to do to grow your business in these 3 ways over the next week? Something for you to think about and mull over. And if you want to share it with me tomorrow at the meeting, you can. I know your head's probably blown right now. Your mind's blown and your head kind of hurts because Christy made you do numbers and didn't even tell you she was going to make you do numbers before this training. But think about this for 10 minutes today, 5 minutes. And what action step are you going to take to grow your business this week, this month, this year? What kind of goals are you going to have now that you see how easy it is to do 10, 20, or 33% in your business? Is there any questions at all? Whew. All right. I'll see you all tomorrow at 8:30 at La Marvelosa. Did I get it right, Chip?
Yeah, you got it as good as me.
I was about to say, you got it.
Either
It's
of
good.
us are going to do it.
You guys have an amazing day. And if you have any questions about this, shoot me a message or give me a call. I'll be more than happy to walk you through it. It took about 3 trainings for me to understand it. It's the blonde hair.
Yeah, it's a little. I'm fried now. My brain's fried.
Come on, Christy, you did not tell me about these number things. Next time I'll have a calculator right next to me.
You guys have a great day. See
All right,
you
stay
tomorrow.
safe, guys.
Bye-bye.
Love you guys.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, Sammy.
Later, Sammy.
See y'all later.
What the